Mabine Seabe, who is the head of communications in Parliament for the Rise Mzansi party. Mabine, good to have you on the SABC as well. The DA very pleased tonight that Nkabane has been sacked as Minister of Higher Education. Do you join in the celebrations?
Good evening to you and the viewers. Of course, we join in the celebrations, and I think it's this now shows us that the days of untouchable ministers and deputy ministers is far behind us. And I think that must be credited to the creation of the GNU, where various political parties, including the ANC itself, put pressure on portfolio committee chairpersons, put pressure on the president to ensure that the work of government happens. As Rise Mzansi, we campaigned on building a safe, prosperous, equal and united South Africa, and we insist that such a portfolio is key in ensuring that, because higher education in many ways for many South Africans is a gateway out of poverty. And
now that we are here, do you think President Ramaphosa waited too long to make this decision, considering how long the saga over the SETA appointments has dragged on for?
I think the president did what he needed to do. I think at the point where the damage has been caused, or rather before it has been caused, the president acted, and I think we should give the president grace in many regards there. I think in many ways we're seeing a president that is acting, a president that understands that the ANC no longer governs by itself, but governs with 9 or 10 other political parties, including Rise Mzansi. And therefore, we welcome the president's action in this regard, and we welcome the appointment of Buti Manamela as the minister. We think he's a solid candidate in this regard, and that he's a steady hand and who will bring leadership and stability to the portfolio.
About him makes you believe that he's a safe pair of hands for the department?
He's someone who does his work quietly. He's been in the department as a deputy minister for several years, as you've mentioned. And we believe that someone who is relatively young, someone who has not displayed the arrogance that we saw of the outgoing minister, someone who appearingly seemingly has a passion for the higher education department, will do what needs to be done to ensure that the 142 billion rand budget of the department is used to ensure that we educate young South Africans, we train young South Africans, and ensure that the knowledge and intellectual base of the country is expanded.
And Karabo Khachau from the DA, speaking to us a short time ago, believes that the SETA board saga has not been fully accounted for. That one of the things she said, in fact, in our conversation a short time ago, was that the DA, for instance, or at least she does not believe that the now former minister, Dr. Nkabane, acted alone in making that controversial decision that was ultimately rescinded. Do you think that the higher education department should face more scrutiny, more questions about those very decisions in a post-Nkabane era?
The removal of this minister does not mean that that work is over. The Portfolio Committee on Higher Education and Training must continue to do its work. And the minister, or at least the ousted minister, should now still face accountability from Parliament through the Joint Ethics Committee, or the Joint Committee on Ethics and Members' Interests. So the committee, both committees in that regard must do that work, so there is accountability. And even if the outgoing minister is removed as an MP or resigns, there are still other matters that she must still account for through the public protector and other charges that have been laid against her. So I don't think South Africans must rest knowing that the minister has been removed. They must rest once there's full accountability.
And do you think then her resignation, in fact, do you find the timing, I wonder, Mabine, curious that she departs less than 24 hours before she was due to face the very same Higher Education Portfolio Committee, and that there are still these questions on the table? Is there perhaps a missed opportunity here?
I don't think that this has to do with the appearance before the committee. I think this has more to do with the budget votes that are coming up on Wednesday, where members of Parliament will be voting on the appropriation bill. There was a great contention around this particular minister as well as others. And I hope that now that the president has taken some form of action, that other parties who were previously going to vote against this appropriation budget would now vote with it, so that we can ensure that the people of South Africa can receive services, and that the work of government can continue without hindrance.